I've seen a lot of other machine users do this type of video, but I'm gonna do mine a little different, and I'm pretty sure there already been somebody who owns a machine that has done their this type of video this way. I hadn't been through all of YouTube, so as far as I know, I'm the one who's doing this type of way. So probably about a month and a half ago, and I had one of their specialty sales, as I like to call it. I hadn't seen one of these sales in a very long time, where it was like get 9 expansions for $99. When I first got my machine back in 2012, I think they had this sale at least every 6 months. That's what it seemed like, because I went up on my expansions pretty quickly. I said to myself I wasn't going to get in it because I pretty much had all the expansions that I wanted to try out. Out of all of the ones that they were offering, I want to say I think the latest ones were the only ones they weren't offering, but other than that, I pretty much had all the ones I wanted to get. Let me jump subjects right quick, because this is something that annoys me in the machine Facebook groups that I see. Sometimes a person will come in there in one of these groups, and I've seen this happen at least once a month in those groups. Someone to come in and say, hey, what expansions would be good for boom bap hip hop? The question was, what machine expansions would be good for boom bap style hip hop? And people will come up and say, hey, just go chop up some records, go to your record store and do that. And it's like, these people that's coming in and asking this question, they legitimately want to know what expansions are good for them. But you always got, there's always probably about 2 or 3 knuckleheads that'll come in there and act all high and mighty and just be like, oh, you should just go buy some records and chop those up. You know, I get where they're coming from, but they are asking what machine expansions. So if you're one of those people, then just answer the question. It's not that serious to come in and be all high and mighty and, you know, all elitist and everything. Because like I said, you see, I got a record collection, samples. I got sounds probably from all of these records right now, and plus the ones in my garage. So when they come in and ask that question, just answer the question and then just go about your business, because you're being a jerk when someone comes in and asks that and you act all high and mighty. So but today's video is about what I think are the 5 most underrated expansions for machine. And yes, there will be a 5 most overrated / disappointing expansions as well, so be on the lookout for that. Now, before we get into it, you know what I need you to do. I need you to go and click that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, so that you'll know when I post more videos. So I'm gonna go into this pretty quickly. The first expansion that I think is very underrated and should be utilized more, or at least, not gonna say utilized more, should be talked about more, is Vintage Heat. Vintage Heat is pretty much bringing the old analog keyboards back to life. I say it's underrated, and I don't use it as much as I should. Reason being is because of Monarch, because of Massive, and I also have the Arturia collection. So I really don't get a chance to use Vintage Heat the way that I feel like I really should. But just going through it when I first bought it, because I think I bought Vintage Heat probably a week before I got the Arturia collection. And when I got the Arturia collection, I had put Vintage Heat on the back burner for me. So but Vintage Heat is a very dope expansion. Here's some of the sounds there. That was the It's Complicated kit. Then you got the drums. So like I said, this is modeled more so after a whole bunch of old analog drum machines, old analog synthesizers. See, this is good here. So definitely this is a very underrated expansion. So if you don't have this in your collection, and if you don't have the Arturia collection and you're looking for a good synthesizer, a good old analog feel, because it's definitely not completely analog, but an old analog feel, vintage heat is a very good way to go, especially if you're using like Machine or Complete. Alright, the next Machine expansion that I think is very underrated is Timeless Glow. This is more geared towards the house genre, and I've been digging house music for a long time. I think house music is the only music that I listen to that I really never tried to fully get into making. But when I got Timeless Glow, once I saw that there was a Machine expansion geared towards that, and I know there are other Machine expansions geared towards house music as well, but listening to the demos for Timeless Glow definitely seemed a little more up my alley, because it seemed like everything else, all the other expansions were like house slash, heavy techno. I just want classic house. Take a look at a couple of kits. Check out a couple of kits here. One thing I do like about the Timeless Glow expansion, the melodic kits are beautiful. The lag kit, which is what I just chose here, these sound very lush, very smooth. See, I can tell you right now, I'm gonna start something with that one. So let's take a look at that. Let's check out this. What's that? It's a Smart Bar kit. That's another melodic kit. Here's more bass. See, those sound great. Alright, let's check out the Vibe kit. It sounds like some. See, those sound great. And also, don't limit the expansions to that type of genre of music. Use some of these chords and some of these sounds in house, on some trap stuff. Use some of the trap stuff in Pure Drip and Certified Gold. Use some of that in boom bap production. So it's just because you get these expansions don't mean that you have to use those kits, exclusively to a certain kind of genre. I got some techno expansions that I put little small elements into my boom bap production. So use these sounds where you best see them, and just don't limit yourself into their genre box. Alright, the next expansion, Amplifier Funk. What I like about this is this was inspired and curated by Amp Fiddler. And if you have the Conant Gardens expansion, first off, I really suggest you go and get it, especially if you're a huge fan of Dilla. It's a lot of Dilla inspired sounds and drums in there. And that was also curated by Amp Fiddler, as you know, who pretty much introduced Dilla to the world. So definitely check out Conant Gardens, but this one here is more Amplified Funk, where Conant Gardens kind of lean more towards the Dilla hip hop soulful style. Amplified Funk is, you guessed, it's for the funk. Great groovy guitars in this. Of course, as I mentioned, the drums. Let's come here. Melodic kits. Listen to these guitars. great guitar samples. I'll be using that later as well. So, but yeah, Amp Fiddler did an excellent job bringing funk into this one, especially with the guitar licks. I think the bass guitars are pretty good as well. Yeah, look at that. Man, you chop those up or just use those as loops. Man, these last two are like my joints, for real. In those same Facebook groups, when people ask, what are some good expansions, I see the usual ones, Platinum Bounce, just a spoiler, Platinum Bounce, Infamous Flow, Headland Flow. I see the usual ones over and over again. And these two are the ones that I always come up and say, hey, first I see what their genre is that they mention it. Even if they don't mention it, I always just say, if you're looking for some great melodic sounds, some good hard hitting drums, some excellent one shots, these next two, they will do the job for you. The first one is Helios Ray. When I saw it, I was getting this one confused with Halcyon Sky, which I have that one as well, because I thought Halcyon Sky, for some reason, I thought that and Helios Ray was going to play well together. I was wrong. But Helios Ray has some of the best Rhodes sounds, and these are the kits I like. These sound good. See the frequency shifter on them. These sound so good. This here, I think it's yeah. See, they did a little lo-fi. You can make some dope stuff off of this, and then the guitars as well. So this is also a very, very good one. You can pair this one with Aquarius Earth. You can also pair Soul Magic with this one as well. Aquarius Earth, and also the last one that I'm going to talk about, you can pair it with them as well. But one thing about Helios Ray, another thing that I like, the drums. I know I hadn't been focusing too much on the drums, but that's because, as I mentioned earlier, the drums on all these are nasty. See, those are some nasty ass drums. So Helios Ray, you can make some real smooth stuff, some real smooth hip hop, some real smooth R&B, neo soul, and as I mentioned earlier, use some of these sounds outside of the genre it was meant for. Let's just expand. You'll always come up with something. These are some very good sounds. Get them, chop them up, or just loop them. Me personally, I like to take a one shot of them. Manipulate the samples. I probably end up doing something off of Helios Ray, because I do like to every once in a while just go in and just make a beat out of using nothing but that expansion kit. So I think I'm gonna do a video using Helios Ray, because one thing with Helios Ray and the last one that I'm going to talk about, more often than not, whenever I'm using something sample, a sample or anything, I usually come to one of those two to add something in the background. So definitely Helios Ray. Pick that one up if you hadn't got it. It is definitely one of the more underrated expansions out there. You'll definitely like that one. And last but not least, probably my favorite, if not my favorite, one of my favorite expansions, and definitely one of the most underrated expansions. And I always tell people to go out and pick it up. Sierra Grove. If someone came to me and said, "Hey, Ty, we're about to get ready to strip your machine of all of your machine expansions except one, which one would you keep?" It always would be it would be between Sierra Grove, Prospect Haze, Street Swarm, and probably Aquarius Earth. Those would be the ones that I would be like, no, you can't take these away from me. Sierra Grove is definitely one of those that, to me, has the total package. Has an acoustic kit, as you can see here. Has an acoustic kit, melodic kit, special kit, urban kit. I think the one thing that I wish it did have was a vinyl kit, but not necessarily need that, because you can always just kind of go through and you just go through, and if you got like the RC20, you can just do your own, vinyl simulation. Or if you're a good sound designer, if you know how to use the effects like that, you definitely can just make your own vinyl kit. But let's go to the acoustic kit. That's what I love the most, the acoustic raw kit. Then the acoustic dust kit. Then the acoustic dry kit, which is basically acoustic drums, either sampled or synthesized, but they sound really, really good. So you can't go wrong with them. The melodic kit, so you got basses, got your strings, so see, this has a lot of good stuff. See, where's my favorite? My favorite kit on this one here. Now, one thing that Machine think they can get away with, some of the names of these, it's just funny to me. Dark milk kit, come on, black milk kit, and great sounds in this. So, if you are a neo soul, or you like smooth jazzy hip hop, I would say pair Sierra Grove, Helios Ray, actually Vintage Heat, and Aquarius Earth together, and also Coney Gardens. You package all those together, you got sounds, you got drums for days. You can definitely make some ill shit off of it. So once again, let me go back through them. Vintage Heat, Timeless Glow, Amplifier Funk, Helios Ray, and Sierra Grove. Check those 5 out. Those are my most underrated expansion kits. Like I said, I don't see them talked about enough, so I want to talk about them. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment, hit that like button. Tell me about some of your favorite machine expansions and ones I should check out. I got quite a few of them, so if you tell me to check it out, more than likely I got it. I probably hadn't used it much until part 2 of this video. I'll see you later. Man, go make some music, go make some heat, go make some dope shit. Peace.